Hi, I go by the name of Podgy. You're looking for a job, looking for work. Hi, I go by the name of Podgy Figures, and today we got a special guest on Life of an Entrepreneur. She's come to share her journey and her success on conscious cleaning. So yeah, hi, how we doing, Ruby?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm very excited.
Ah, no, you're welcome, man. It's a privilege you coming on the show and sharing your journey. So thank you.
Yeah,
How's your week
definitely.
been?
It's been, do you know what? It sounds silly because obviously when you start a business, it's going to be non-stop, but it really is non-stop.
Yeah,
It's so, in the best possible way, it's always so busy, but more so behind the scenes than anything.
yes, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so the number one question is, what is conscious cleaning?
So conscious cleaning is my domestic and commercial cleaning business. And at the minute, it's just me. I'm just the solo cleaner. I'm doing everything. It's dead fun. But the conscious isn't just the cleaning aspect. Obviously, having a clean space is good for your mental health. It's good for your productivity. So that plays a big part in it. But I was actually talking about this the other day on my account. I also try and be as mindful as possible in my clients' homes. And by that, I mean, the energy you bring to your interactions and your work can completely change the outcome of that experience.
Yeah.
So being mindful and bringing the right energy into your work is so important. And most people don't realize that. And they're thinking, oh, I'm attracting all these horrible clients and horrible people. What am I doing wrong? And it's likely because of how you're approaching things. So
Yeah.
that is a big part as well.
No, I agree with what you said. Like, even when you said for the mind state, like having a clean surroundings, because I find cleaning up my house, I find it therapeutic. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I enjoy it, and I like the end result. Everything's clean. You just feel good. Your mind does feel good. So I do agree with that.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I
100%.
do agree with that. Where are you based, Ruby?
So I'm based in Liverpool,
Liv-
and I mainly cover at the minute South Liverpool areas, just because I walk for the most part. Occasionally I'll get like public transport if I need to, but because I don't drive, I've only got a sort of small radius that I can do at the moment.
Oh,
But hopefully that'll change in the future.
let's get straight to it, people. I go by the name of Podgy Figures, and I want to thank everybody that's been watching my channel. However, I need you to subscribe to my channel. I need you to press
In the
that
future.
like button. So have you always been based in Liverpool? You born and bred in Liverpool?
I moved to Liverpool 3 years ago for uni. I'm actually from North Wales, born and bred in North Wales, but I'll be in Liverpool for as long as I fancy it, to be fair.
Yeah. What made you start up this business?
It's a interesting story. I won't bore you too much with details, but it's
No,
quite
we love
a.
details.
It's
We
one of
love
those.
details on this show.
Okay, perfect. It's one of those where it's like, I basically last June, I sort of experienced this. The only way I can explain it is a mental health crisis.
Yeah.
Just out of nowhere, completely. I don't know if you can tell from me on the phone, I'm quite a friendly, bubbly, outgoing person. Not
Yeah.
really, nothing really bothers me that much. And it just
Nice.
completely switched. And I started having panic attacks multiple times a day, every day, which then led into like agoraphobia. So I wouldn't leave my bedroom, I wouldn't leave my house for months. This went on for about 8 months, but it
Okay.
meant that I didn't go to uni for the entire final year. I had to quit the job that I did have, which I only got the month before this all started happening. Just completely off radar. It was just the craziest thing ever. And then it started getting closer to obviously me finishing uni, and that was anxiety inducing as well, because I was like, what am I going to do for work? How am I going to afford to live? All this stuff, because obviously I will have to. I can't just not do anything for the rest of my life. So, but at this point, I was in the process of EMDR, which is the eye movement reprocessing therapy.
Okay.
It's mad how it works. I couldn't actually. It's the weirdest thing. People who have done it will know exactly what I mean, but it's very clever, and also exposure therapy as well. So obviously, I wasn't even looking outside half the time, never mind going. So I was doing that as well with people and whatnot. And then I say the February just gone was sort of when I was coming out of it a lot more. I could be on my own. I could go and do things like for longer periods of time. And my mum was like, why don't you start a cleaning business? Because you're good at it. You've got loads of experience. You're really good at it. It's one of the few things that like distracts you. And yeah, you've always seemed to like love that. So why don't you just do it yourself? You'd be in control. And obviously, as you know, anxiety and stuff like that, it's a control thing. You don't feel like you're in control. So she was like, you would be in control of everything, your hours, your days, who you work for. And I was like, this is actually a really good idea. And it made me feel excited as well. So I was like, I've got to do something with this. So I started, planning it, preparing it, creating logos and all the fun stuff. And then I just did it.
Quick one. I know you're enjoying the show. This is only going to take a minute. Everybody keeps asking, Podge, where do I get the merchandise? Like, where can I get it? All right. If you see this on any platform, if it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, any social media, just message me. You can get this merch. You can get this hat. You can get this tea. I even got some cups. Yeah. And I got different flavors. So I got this flavor here and I got this flavor here. Just message me, man. I got you.
Did it.
If you don't mind me asking, and you could skip it if you want, what caused that situation, for you to get into that space? Was it a stress of uni? Was there did something trigger it?
Do you know what? It was just so out of nowhere. I wouldn't be able to pinpoint what it was, but I do a lot of research. When things like this happen, I'm very interested in mental health and like things like that in general.
Yeah.
So I went on like a deep dive researching about all these things, and what I found for the most part is when you lose purpose, you feel like there's, even if you don't think like, oh, this is rubbish, blah blah blah, you don't say these things, you lose a sense of purpose. You're not doing what you should be doing. Yeah. Everything else kind of starts to crumble all at once.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what happened. It was just like I knew I didn't want to be doing the course I was doing, but there was nothing else that I wanted to do. I wasn't really there was just nothing I was really doing that I wanted to do. And then this sort of just was a way for, I suppose, my body to be like, do something about it, kind of thing.
If there might be somebody going through it right now or experiencing this, is there anything like you could tell them to kind of maybe encourage them or help them get out this situation they're in?
Yeah, so my biggest advice with these things, and it might be a bit controversial, but it's important, because, and I'm saying this as someone who was doing the exact same thing. So I've done it in that period of time. I was labeling these things. I was saying I've got an anxiety disorder, I've got panic disorder, I've got this, I've got that. And so I was saying like that, and I was saying, oh, I can't do anything, I can't go outside, I can't see people, but I can't be on my own. And it was just, it keeps you there. So when you're saying, oh, my life is rubbish, it's the way you talk about yourself, you talk about things happening, and it's perspective, obviously. So my biggest advice would be, clock it straight away. Like when you say something negative, start, even if you don't feel it straight away, switching the way you're talking about it does something in your brain. And then you notice when you do it for a period of time, your perspective changes. You do start to feel like that I haven't got this, like it's just an experience sort of thing.
Yeah. No, thank you for that, man. I appreciate you sharing that as well, like, and for people watching as well at the same time. And I get what you're saying sometimes, because even like, say myself, I kind of like to trick the mind a bit. Like I like to tell myself stuff like, all right, this is not this, or this is this for this time period, and then I'm going to move on to this, Quick one. I know you's enjoying the show, but this is only going to take a minute. I was in Battersea, SW11. I was eating in this Caribbean place called Spin and Jerk. The food was amazing. The hospitality was amazing as well. They got some nice seating area as well for you to go sit down and eat. So if you're in Battersea, that SW11 area, make sure you go check it out. Spinning Jerk. Yeah, tell them Podgy said no. In the last couple of years, I've been doing a vision board. So like I have a vision board and it's in my bedroom and it's on my wardrobe, and so every time I go to sleep or I wake up, I see it. So it's like if I wake up, I see it, so that's in my mind, and if I'm going to sleep, I see
I
it.
love that. Yeah.
And I feel like that's helped a lot. All right, getting on to your business. What is the cleaning packages you have? I see on your site you got like a cleaning package. Tell us about your cleaning packages.
Yeah. So I've got quite a few now, but my main ones are maintenance cleans and deep cleans. They're like the standard. Pretty much every cleaner will have a maintenance and deep clean package.
Yeah.
And the maintenance cleans are basically, they're usually 2 to 3 hour slots. And for me personally, these are set prices depending on the size of the property.
Yeah.
So, for example, my 1 bed, 1 bath flat or apartment, whatever it is, starts at £50 weekly or £60 fortnightly, and it kind of like, and that's kind of how it works. And it gets a bit more expensive the more bathrooms and bedrooms you have, because there's just more things to cover.
Yeah.
And then in terms of deep cleans, I've actually upped my prices a bit on my deep cleans, and I'm in the process of like doing the policy change because of like the product use that gets done, the kind of build up that you have on deep cleans. It takes a lot of time and work to get it to a good standard. So mine are currently priced at £30 per hour with a 4-hour minimum, because like it will at least take 4 hours to deep clean even one room. And sometimes that's all people want. They just want one room. So that's kind of how it works for me.
Sorry to interrupt you. When you say deep clean, for those that are watching, what is a deep clean?
Yeah.
Than a normal clean.
Yeah, okay. So your maintenance cleans is kind of just general upkeep, like in terms of wiping surfaces, doing the floors, like clearing the space, like a sink, just the things that make a difference, but you would do in your normal everyday life if you could. You just like give things a wipe down, bathroom and kitchen sort of focus, because they're the things that have the most build up the quickest.
Yeah.
And then deep cleans there's certain areas that have a lot more build up. So your hobs, this little detailing in between tiles, plug holes in the showers.
What about the oven? Inside the oven?
Moving furniture. Yeah, so for me, things like inside oven, inside the fridge, inside the cupboards, they're add-ons, but they would be considered for deep cleans. They wouldn't really usually be done in maintenance, But yeah, it's just more detailing on the areas that usually get missed, if that makes sense.
Nice. Have you, like, because you said you was doing uni. How was it like for you, like, to start up your own business, as in like to say, like, has your family come from entrepreneurs, or did everybody do the uni route? Like, have you come from family of entrepreneurs?
So so I've got a big family, big, amazing family, and everyone very different. It's kind of like not divided, but the men in the family kind of like to just stick to they do one thing and that's what they do, and they love it. Like they have their set jobs that they just did, and they've not all in my family specifically, the men in the family, they've never been big on school, kind of like your standard like troublemakers, if you will. It's never just done it for them. They're like hands-on work. And the women are very much entrepreneurs, always learning something new, always putting these ideas together, especially my mom. She's done everything you can possibly imagine, hair and makeup. She's got her own holistic wellness school online. She's New York Fashion Week. She used to do New York Fashion Week and all this kind of stuff. So that's obviously where I've got it from. Yeah. But yeah, it's like a kind of a mix. So it's that mix from my dad's side and all the lads in the family, where it's like love hands-on, getting into it sort of stuff, and then the creative like side is from the women in the family, where it's like, oh, but you can do this as well, and you can do this, and kind of mixing the two.
That's great to hear. That's great to hear because, like, as an entrepreneur, it is great to kind of see somebody doing it. So you like, especially close to you. So you like, there's a belief system in you to say, this can be done. This is not foreign.
Yeah,
Sometimes there's not that around you to kind of believe in.
yeah,
So that's good to see those
yeah. I'm very
dynamics.
lucky,
Yeah,
very lucky.
no, that's Let's get straight to it, people. I go by the name of Podgy Figures, and I want to thank everybody that's been watching my channel. However, I need you to subscribe to my channel. I need you to press that like
Okay.
button. No, that's great. If I wanted to start up a cleaning business,
Yeah.
how much would I need financially?
Ballpark, I would say between 100 and 350
Okay.
as a sort of minimum. And I say that because, like, I could sit here and be like, oh, you don't need much starting out, which on paper you might not, because it would realistically, you need a kit, maybe a bit of uniform, insurance, and they're kind of like the solid things you would absolutely need to just
Yeah.
do it. But it would be smart to sort of have these things planned in terms of course, if you do want your uniform to look more professional, things like flyers to get yourself seen more, having a solid kit. And I basically planned absolutely everything that I could. Well, and obviously I still learn and everything. It's not, you're never going to get everything at once. But also thinking about being able to afford to continue to run it during the first few months where I might not have any clients, because that's an important thing to think about as well. You could start it up with whatever you've got in your bank, but if a month comes and you've still not really got any clients and you're running out of everything, you'd have to stop and wait until you can start up again, if that makes sense.
No, it definitely does. So if I'm watching this now, yeah, and I'm in a job and I want to start my own cleaning job, and I say to myself, all right, I'm
Yeah.
gonna save £300. Yeah. If I say £300, that can get me off to the races. Like, what is £300 buying, like, material wise? What are the specific materials?
So again, it's all like, I'm going to be giving kind of like ballpark prices because I couldn't tell you the exact price of everything that I've got, but I've kind of got an idea of what it was. So in terms of my kit, I would say I spent about 150, and that's for your standard cleaning products, whatever it is you choose to use. A bit of uniform. I just got 2 polos starting off. I got a caddy so that I can put everything in. I bought flyers, and obviously my insurance, and that's what covered. I'd say that £300. That's what that kind of covered altogether. Sorry, go on.
All right, that's great. Okay, so with the £300, I've bought my uniform. I've bought some materials to use to clean. I've bought some flyers. How do I get the work?
I've been quite fortunate with my business in terms of social media did it. Every
Okay.
client that I've got has been social media. So I've not had to send out any of my flyers, which is fortunate. I've not had to put anything in groups because I've just been fortunate enough that I've always loved doing the social media stuff. So it just kind of did what it needed to do, basically. So that's another big piece of advice to people is get comfortable. Obviously, it's difficult because social media can be a very horrible place. And me personally, I don't necessarily scroll much on social media. It's just for me posting and me doing my work side of things. And then other than that, I'm off it. I don't pay attention to the negative stuff. But it's tough. Not all people can do that. It gets carried away, and you know what I mean. But social media nowadays is the biggest selling point for young people, especially.
So you say social media, yeah? So, all right, I've got all my kit, I've got everything going on. What social media do I approach? Because is it Facebook? Is it TikTok? Is it Instagram? Is it Snapchat? Which one do I focus on? And I might be a person a bit like who doesn't really like social media either. Like I'm
Yeah.
not scrolling all day. That's not my vibe. I want to be able to position myself on how to get jobs. What
Yeah.
social media and how do I position myself to do that?
I would say if you're someone who isn't a fan of social media, and understandably not many people are, especially now, I would say you don't have to like do what I'm doing where I'm like on camera, you know, chatting about things. You don't have to do that. The most important thing is you are showcasing your work, whether it's just photos of it, as consistently as you can. And things best for that are things like Facebook and Instagram. They're kind of like the things that people are looking for. And sometimes people aren't interested in the ones like myself who are actively on social media. Some people just want a cleaner. They can see their work. Yeah, I want you. So it's important. It is important to showcase your work. But then also, if you are someone who really wants to push yourself and really get out there as quickly as you can, I would say all of them: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, but again, in a healthy way.
What happens if I haven't got no work? I'm at the stage where I've spent my £300 and I've created my accounts. How do I get the work though?
This is just a case of simply practicing on your own home, friends and family. That's what I was doing when I first started out. I was just cleaning my own space, and people don't know it's your space. Like, unless you say it's yours,
they just want to see a good job. They want to see a good job, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. So if you've got people around you, friends, family, and this is the kind of time where you're working for free almost. Like, you're doing it to get yourself out there. You're cleaning. It doesn't have to be like a room every other day, whatever it is, however much time you have to work for free at the start, do it and post the pictures. And also another thing, actually, in terms of the social media, which I found very helpful, which I don't think a lot of people consider, is literally on anything, whatever it is you're using, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, just search your area and go through comments on posts, and the people in your area will be there, and like they'll see, oh, for example, cleaning in Liverpool. I've been thinking about having a cleaner in Liverpool, and that's where a lot of my inquiries have come from as well, which was really helpful.
Oh, that's a great blueprint. So you're saying basically,
Yeah,
on the social media, search the area. So if I'm in Liverpool, and then search like for cleaners, and then leave like a message underneath the comments.
Yeah. So you put a message, and then also just like if you're seeing, oh, this person's in my area where I'm wanting to clean, follow them.
Nice.
Give them a follow, because it's not like you're just on a business page, obviously. Because if it's just you, they might just think, who is this? So just following me. But if it's your like conscious clean in Liverpool, they're going to think, oh, there's a cleaner in Liverpool. I'll keep that in mind.
No, that's nice. I like the way that strategy is. That's a great strategy.
Yeah.
Quick one. I know you're enjoying the show. This is only going to take a minute. Everybody keeps asking, Podge, where do I get the merchandise? Like, where can I get it? All right. If you see this on any platform, if it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, any social media, just message me. You can get this merch. You can get this hat. You can get this tea. I even got some cups. Yeah. And I got different flavors. So I got this flavor here and I got this flavor here. Just message me, man. I got you. Strategy.
Yeah.
All right. So I get a job now and it's a 2-bedroom. How do I execute this? When I mean execute this, do I start in the bathroom first cleaning? Do I start in the kitchen? Is there a formula on the way how to do a great job as a cleaner?
Okay. So I'll give you my advice, what I do first, but then overall I would just say there's no right or wrong way, so long as it gets done. You just find what works for you. But I would say the best approach to make sure you get things done to a good standard is you walk into the property and you put your focus on the high priority areas first, and by that I mean the kitchen and the bathrooms. So I will always start on the kitchen. Kitchens usually take the longest because there's just more things in there. There's a lot more like splashback sort of, stuff like that. Yeah. So get that done and out of the way. And you want to work in each room for the best possible so that you don't miss anything.
Okay.
Top to bottom and left to right, because we're doing it that way.
So top to bottom, left to right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because top to bottom, if you're cleaning the surface and then going to do the cupboards and this dirt's falling down from the cupboards, you've just
Make
got to do the surface again.
Makes sense.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And then left to right is literally just, or right to left, whichever, whatever you want to do. It just means you're moving like this way
Yeah.
and you're seeing everything as you're going along. So there's a very small chance you're going to miss anything
Nice.
doing it like that. It just makes it a lot less stressful because I used to go into cleans and think, okay, I'll start here. And then I'd be like, wait, that needs to be done. I'll go over there and do that. It just
Yeah.
chaos.
That's why I was asking you the formula, like, and I like the way you said that as well. Top to bottom, left to right. I like the way you
Yeah.
put that, because if somebody wants to start their business, they might get that, go into the house and get that anxiety, like, okay, this is my first job.
Yeah.
I don't know how to actually, do it, or what shall I do first.
Yeah.
So that's great the way you kind of broke that down. I like that.
Yeah.
No, that's
Yeah, but
great.
then you'd go on to then say the bathroom, whether it's a one bed, it doesn't matter. Just so long as the kitchen and bathrooms are usually prioritized, they're the most noticeable differences. And you'll find most of the time that people only really want their kitchens, bathrooms, and maybe living areas done. They're not that fussed about things like bedrooms or spare rooms or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's the main areas that you see and make a visual difference that matter the most. So then,
Okay.
yeah, you go same process, top to bottom, left to right, and you do that in every room.
Nice.
It's just the easiest way to sort of not get overwhelmed and stressed out. And then from there, my next step is usually then the living room or or study, whatever it is, and doing those areas. And then whatever's like, you kind of just you find your mojo by that point anyway. You go, right, living room's next, and then it might be okay, a bedroom or the hallway. So you kind of get the gist. The high priority areas are always first, and then you go on to any other rooms, because usually if I've done the priority areas and say I've run out of time, I'm a lot less sort of stressed by it because I've done the most important things. And I'll say, you just communicate and say, look, I've done these bits, didn't quite get time to do this room today, but can prioritize that next week. And 9 times out of 10, it's like, yeah, no worries at all.
Oh, no, that's good to hear. All right, price range. So if I get a
Yeah.
job and it's a studio and they want a clean for the studio, and let's just say a deep clean for it, what kind of price am I looking to give to the customer?
So it all depends on your area, firstly, because different areas have different base rates and whatnot. And this is actually an interesting one anyway, because I get a lot of people asking me about how to charge, and I always say to them, I say, it's always good to take inspiration from other cleaners in your area or whatever service you're doing, of course, but you have to work out what you personally need to charge to fit your lifestyle, to fund your lifestyle, because it could be completely different from the next person. So I could charge, so my bit is usually around £25 an hour. So 20 to 25 is kind of usually standard cleaners rate.
Right.
Some people charge more, some people charge less. If you're working for someone else, it's usually a bit less. But, if I charge £25 an hour, and someone else charges £15 an hour, but that works for them, that funds their lifestyle, they've got no issues, they're not working themselves into the ground, and vice versa, there's no problem. Like, you don't have to beat yourself up for under or overcharging. If it's working for you and your clients, it doesn't matter. You don't need to stress. But I would say, sorry to the long-winded
No,
answer,
this is good.
yeah, 25 between 25 and 35 an hour is usually the range for cleaning prices. But again, it all depends on your area and what your lifestyle is.
No, that's great what you said. I liked even the way to even finding it, like, so you can kind of do a little bit of due diligence, research, and find out what is the price in your area, and then kind of go from there. And then, as I said, there's a ball point between maybe £20 to 25 or 35 an hour. That's
Yeah.
really good. Like, that's
Yeah.
that's encouraging. No, that's great. Another thing I wanted to ask you as well. There's somebody now watching this and they're in their 9 to 5. Hold on a minute. Have you ever had a 9 to 5 yourself?
Have I got 9 to 5?
Yeah.
No.
Somebody's in their 9 to 5 now and they want to actual pivot, but they're a bit scared. They're like,
Yeah.
they've kind of built this thing in their head like this is a safety but they got this idea that they want to start their own cleaning business. Is there any advice you could kind of give that person who's watching right now?
Yeah. So obviously, I've not done a 9 to 5, but I've got my sister. They're going to give my sister as an example because she's literally done the exact same thing. So she's always done 9 to 5. I've done part-time and I've always just gone the school route, standard school, high school, college, uni, and now here I am. But my sister has been in 9 to 5 work for ages, and she's just, after her maternity leave, has just gone, no, I'm doing it. I want to do my own thing. And she started her own business. She's already fully booked. She only started it the other week. She's fully booked for June.
Has she started a cleaning business as well?
So she's a skin specialist. So she
nice.
did her training for skin. Yeah. And yeah, she's absolutely smashed it. But she, from her perspective, she just thought it was planned out. She planned out with a partner. She said, look, I don't want to be in this 9 to 5 anymore. I want to be with our son, and I want to have a job that, you know, I can be present for him, and obviously vice versa. But he was like, right, okay, let's figure it out then. They worked out. So this is the important part. This is the biggest advice. You can take a risk and just think, whatever, let's just see where it goes. And that it might work out, it might not. If that works for you, that works for you. But it's important to try and actually sit down and think, look, how am I going to do this? Especially when it comes to costs, working out how you're going to get by in terms of your finances whilst you're doing this behind the scenes. And I wish I could sit here and be like, oh, find time for yourself and all this in the meantime. But usually that starting point, you are doing so much work with your 9 to 5 and this business, and that's just what needs to be done for that first part.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I love what you said as well. Like, there's so much great things you just said, but do the due diligence. So like, find out about your business, and then find out the actual cost, and then move forward from there. And then you even showed a great example. Your sister was in a 9 to 5, and then she found out like she wanted to do the skincare, and she just off to the races now with it. So it's proven that you can pivot. But another great thing you said as well is there might be a bit of a struggle time where you're kind of balancing the both. But if you are at that point now and you are watching, that's just a phase. That's not going to be like that forever, because you will pivot and cross over to the actual career you actually want. Another thing as well, like I like to add as well, some people say there's basically careers and entrepreneurs that might not make their initial cost back till 2 years later or a year and a half later. You're showing basically in the business you're in, you can make back your cost maybe in the first few jobs.
Yeah, cleaning is one of those things you can make a lot of money with it, because there's so many different things you can do with it. Like, for example, I only started with my maintenance and deep cleans, but now I'm expanding to potentially the more expensive ones that bring in more money, like end of tenancies. Airbnbs are very popular. Off like other commercial ones, there's already like 7 different ways to get money from this job. But then you can also put your own twist on it. Like, for example, I've put out a luxury cleaning service where people who are going on holiday, obviously people who can afford it, it's not just like shoving it in their face, but if they go on holiday and they want to come back to a like brand spanking new home, like everything's just refreshed, a proper intense deep clean where everything's moved, everything's cleaned, that's what they get. And that, you know, there's packages that you can always put together. There was another one, my mum gave me an idea. She said you could do something to help mums. You know, there's a different kind of way to go about it that way. But there's so much money to make in it. And it's not, people often think with cleaners, and I don't know why, but it seems to be a thing that, you know, we're always overcharging and that we're just rinsing people of their money. But you don't question a tradie. They're doing a lot of intense work for however long to get something looking new. And it's not cheap. You go and get your nails done and it's not cheap, but you know, it makes you feel better. It's the same with cleaning. It's not an easy job.
It's not. I look at cleaning
Well,
like another trade. I look at cleaning like
yeah.
scaffolding, like bricky, like electrician. Reason why I look at it like that, it's a physical job. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like you deserve the money you are actually charging. And as you pointed out earlier on as
Mhm.
well, you coming back to a surroundings and it's spotless clean. You just feel better inside. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now you're worth
Yeah.
every single penny you charge, if you ask me.
Yeah. 100%. Thank you. Yeah.
No, that's great, man. Like, I really appreciate you coming on today and sharing your journey and
Of course.
inspiring and
Yeah.
just kind of breathing hope to people as well at the same time. Like, who wants to start
Yeah.
something like this. I do appreciate your time.
No, thank you so much. It's been so fun. I absolutely loved it.
No, that's good. No, that's good. Big up everybody in Liverpool as well, man. And
Yeah.
yeah, we'll definitely touch base soon. Let's get straight to it, people. I go by the name of Podgy Figures, and I want to thank everybody that's been watching my channel. However, I need you to subscribe to my channel. I need you to press that like button.